are back a month later at Hidden Valley, and this time I brought just the daughter. She came to visit just for a couple of weeks, and we decided that, you know what, it's a Friday and I'm gonna take the day off and we're gonna go for a small walk in the Hidden Valley, which is basically the mountain in behind us there. So we're gonna go check that out. I've been there once, so I actually prefer to do these things alone, and then I can bring other people there and to know where to go and where not to go. So once you reach the base where the parking lot is here, it's a kind of a rest stop, and there's washrooms down there. The trail actually starts all the way on the east portion of the parking lot. This is where the trail begins. It's not over there, it's right over here at the very end. There's a little spot that you can come in, and this is where your trail actually begins to get up the Hidden Valley. And at the bottom you start all the way up there, and that's how the trail starts. So the initial spurt upwards, it's quite steep, and then once you get to the top, you have a nice pretty view, and then you can actually start seeing a little bit of the valley. This has been eroded and it's a well-traveled trail, so it's pretty easy to follow. So you follow all the way ahead, and then you turn and you keep your eyes on the little canyon that's above 600 meters up here. Then you'll get basically to the little canyon ravine that's on the corner there, and this is where you would turn. And now we're in the canyon here, and there's doesn't seem like there's much of a trail here. There is a path, but there's a bunch of different ways you can get up here. But once you're up here, then you're just following the ridge, up, and then you just loop around and you go in behind. You're just following the canyon naturally made between the two mountains. So the initial part is steep, and then this is kind of like the second steep part where it elevates, you know, maybe 100 meters over a short distance. And then it's a nice little hike because you get spurts where it's just like steep and then it's kind of flat, because right now we're pretty much on a flat ground, right? Almost. And it goes up by little steps, so it's almost like you go up 1 or 2 floors and it's flat for a bit, and you go up 1 or 2 floors, so it's a nice transitional one. So we are now at the top of basically what is the first valley. It's kind of hidden in the Hidden Valley Trail here. I don't know if this is what people would call the Hidden Valley, but there's basically 2 or maybe 3 little valleys that are hidden here, because from here we can't see the road anymore. And as soon as you pass that corner over there, and then you get into the canyon and you start slowly going upwards and upwards, and you start getting altitude, and then by the time that you get to the top, you're actually back to the same level as the canyon, and now you hit like a pinch point. So you're kind of over here, and on this side here you see we're getting closer and closer to the stone, and now we're gonna go through the pinch point that's right over there. So and see right here, we're not that far away. We're only about 10-20 feet away from being above our heads. It actually reaches in. You can tell that over time that's eroded from the wind and the snow. It's kind of neat. There's all sorts of cool views here. This is one of my favorite heights, favorite trails and favorite hikes, because the whole way up you have great views, unlike some of the other hikes where you're just hiking through a forest 90% of the time to get up to a top view. There's a little tiny squirrel right there. You see him? Yeah. Hey, buddy. So once you reach the pinch point, there's a little bit of a steep part just to get up here, and then it's a pinch point because you're basically surrounded by rocks here. And then somebody, probably years ago, brought in a ladder. It does look like there is another trail back there. That might be the old way around when there was no ladder. That's a possibility. But this is a cool little spot. And it's all chained down. When I was here before, I literally went up there without even touching anything, really. But we'll need a demonstration how to get up there. And once you get to the top, there's chains, so you can hold on to the chains.
Oh yeah, that's actually really sturdy.
Yeah, they're solid. Like, that's not going anywhere. The only thing that might happen over time is that you might have some of these steps that can break over time, but look at me putting my life at risk videotaping while climbing up a ladder. Although I go up ladders for a living, so
Oh, it's muddy.
yeah. And see, you can actually get up here. Now you can keep going past the second ridge, and then there's another hidden valley in behind here. And once you've passed the ladder, you'll see, you'll keep on going, and the pinch point is still there, but it gets wider and wider. And then there's a little bit of brush here. It's kind of getting in the way. We're moving stuff out of the way as we go along. The trail is pretty clear, but there is trees and stuff. And you can see that there's still some brush in there, and that clears out another couple hundred meters, and then it starts to get wider and wider. And then you get to the wall. I call this the wall. It's very wide here, and it's just like as tall as you can see. It's crazy. There's this big wall of rock. So now we're entering the second hidden valley, and you're basically surrounded by a wall of stone all around. And from here, it actually looks like it's a dead end. If there wasn't a trail here and I didn't know any better, I probably would expect to get there and be stuck in a coulee or something where you can't go any further without climbing gear. But that is not the case today.
Pro tip, wear good socks.
We're almost at the end here of, if you see just ahead of us here, that's where the end, and this is where the second valley opens. And it looks really steep. From this view, you can see that up here, up there, you could climb up that if you really wanted to. It's a scramble. It's not a hike at this point. That's definitely the shortcut, but we're not doing that today. So once you get out of the pinch point, and you can see the mountains are getting further and further apart, and then there's a lot of trees. So this is the only part here. There's about maybe 500 to 700 meters where you don't have much of a view, and you have to get through this brush. And then you get to the actual second hidden valley. I'm going to show you guys here, because then you come up the trail here and you can keep on going. And you can see above here, there's the one trail, and there's a bush, and then there's another mountain that's on the backside over here. And then there's this one here. And then this is wide open, just a gorgeous area. So we're completely surrounded here by walls of stone. So if you're coming up here, you brought some snacks, and you want to eat and have a picnic up here, this would be the spot to stop. Either up in here, you can find some spots over there, or even further up, there's another opening over there. This is where you would want to stop and eat. You don't want to eat on the top, because when I was here last, the wind gusts were pretty extreme. The second real hidden valley is basically right here. Trying to climb up here. Ta-da! Look at the view. Look at the view. So we are officially basically at the high point of the second valley. We can go slightly higher. You won't get that much more of a view here. Nice cool breeze. Not a whole lot of wind. Super quiet here. And we are completely surrounded by gigantic stone walls. So this is the spot. If you're gonna take a picnic, do it right here. It's kind of nice and flat, and you're kind of in a good spot. And then you can take a rest. And then the rest from here is actually pretty easy. It's only another like 500-600 meters. You can't. So you'll follow the ridge here, and then it's really tempting to go upwards. And you don't want to do that, because then you can if you want. It's possible. I did it, but it's a scramble. It's not a hike at this point. You'll have to be climbing up Boulder's belly first. And I remember when I did it here, there was snow from here all the way up, and I'd lost this path completely. So I didn't know where I was going. So I had to go and just climb up. You basically loop around the back, follow the tree line where the mountain ends and then the tree line begins. And because I have a feeling that most times a year this is going to be a problem for most people where there's a lot of snow. This snow might still be here in August is my guess. Who knows, because of how it's shaded pretty much. So that's the easy part here, is that you just follow the ridge line, and there's a trail which I didn't see last winter when I did this. But there's a trail that loops all the way up and it follows the edge. And even if you did this at certain times of year where there's still a lot of snow, you want to do it where this area here, where the trees meet the mountain, and that's where find whatever easiest path it is. You can trek right through this. You'll be eating a lot of branches. And I don't know how the hell you're supposed to pronounce that in English, but it's Rashimiet. It means a little bit of a mountain. It's like a mountain nub. So this is where you come back up around the far back nub of the trail. This is, you just follow all the way here. And I mean, this is easy mode. You can even keep going straight up here. And then this is not steep at all here. It's just a slight incline. And this is how you get to the back. And I mean, there's probably various ways. I think you go up over on that side and you just crisscross up and you get to the peak super easily. And you do have a majestic view here of the Rashimiet. There's also a trail that goes up there. One of my favorite peaks, just because it's a different looking way. It looks like something you would see in Arizona, down in the Grand Canyon areas, where there's like these big columns that are vertical in big huge areas. You don't kind of see that around Jasper too much, but yeah. So we made it to the top. It just kind of ridges over here. So from the Rashimiet, you just come along and there's like a nice dirt path, and you get all the way up here and you get like this incredible view here. Dumb me, I actually scrambled up what you can see on the side here, all the way there and all the way up. And it's actually possible. There's a way up there. I did it in the middle of the winter and there was a lot of snow and ice. Not suggested, but you can actually get over there on that side if you choose to be very adventurous. This is basically not the true peak, because that would be over there, but we'll get there. But yeah, then from here you get a nice view all around of mountains. Awesome. I was with Mackenzie. We weren't really going that fast. It took us like 2 hours and 5 minutes for both of us to get up here. It's about 2.5-ish kilometers up. So yeah, and then it's about, yeah, you can go 2 to 2.5 hours to go up, and it's gonna be an hour to get down here. R and C. We need to solve the case of the mysterious mountain nookie.
Now it's a K and an E.
And you can see the mighty Athabasca River here. Now it turns into the Brule Lake down there. Now, after all that work, you get one kind of false peak here, just one below, and then you climb up here and there's another one, and then the third one is right up here, and there's like a little three level plateau here to get on the actual peak of this hidden valley hike. This is our awesome view at the peak. So this is the one mountain that created one of the pinch points, and then there's in behind us where you can see the Rashimiet, and then this is on the back side where we came up. Basically we hiked all the way around from here, all the way around, and then back over here on this side. So you do kind of a loop. And this is the gorgeous views of the big mountains at the back. This is only about 1,500 meters. I think it's 1,480, something in there. Between 1,480 and 1,500 meters. And the mountains that we're looking across here, those are all 2,500 to 3,500. Now I think they're all 2,500 to 3,000 meters. I don't think there's much above 3,000 meters in this little area, maybe further in. You can see below here, that's the second valley we were at originally. But yeah. So, hope this helps everybody who actually comes to Hidden Valley. You get a peak, summit, and you get two gorgeous valleys, and you have a view the entire way. This is Eric Tremblay Adventures.